King's Gambit. Good stuff. We expect nothing less in the London Chess Classic. We need these.
All right. I don't know. I felt a little bit inspired by Nigel, oddly enough. I saw that he played the King's Gambit. Nigel. So, well, I played him yesterday and he played a good game, so I figured his openings must be pretty good in general. So I just felt like taking a chance, really. It was just one of those days where I really didn't sleep well last night. I slept maybe a few hours, and so I was just off, and I didn't feel like playing classical standard chess, and that's kind of why I chose to play the King's Gambit.
Can we just clarify this? You're not happy with some of the openings that maybe one or two of your other coaches have been giving you. Instead, you're following Nigel's openings from that.
Well, I followed Magnus yesterday and Nigel today, so I think now I just make sure that my next turn I find a way to follow every other player in this turn.
Okay, so here we go. We have the King's Gambit, and...
All right, so actually...
Has Mickey played like this before?
No, well, the strange thing is I looked at his games and I saw that he had played knight e7, in fact. And like, the strange thing is it transposes to the game. I looked at knight e7, bishop c4, d5, takes, knight takes, and basically that transposed to the game. So d5 surprised me a little bit, but I just played bishop c4 anyway, which I think might be dubious, oddly enough.
Well, this is the big speciality of Joe Gallagher, the leading exponent, we like to think, of the King's Gambit, and he's won some fantastic games with bishop c4, actually, at pretty high level.
Okay.
So we like bishop c4.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time I played. I've actually played bishop b5 a couple of times. I played knight c3 and d4. So I just felt like I actually realized after bishop c4 knight d5 was a transposition to what I had looked at. So I figured why not just go right back into it. So.
Bishop e6.
Yeah, this move. I had very briefly looked at this. I spent most of my time looking at the other alternatives like bishop e7. Yeah. And c6, and I actually concluded bishop e6 was probably the best move. So I certainly was not very happy when Mickey played this move pretty quickly. And so I played bishop b3, and now he played c5, which I think pretty much. I think it's the best move and makes bishop b3 just a bad try.
Yeah, but bishop b. I mean, the problem is, what are the alternatives? Because
I mean, you can play d4 and take on d5, which I had also briefly looked at, and it's probably equal, but it's a game, certainly. d4, bishop e7.
Hang on, is that not possible?
I think now I can... wait a second.
I thought that was the problem.
Okay, so I have to play the other order, probably. Okay, so I probably have to just take and then go d4, and... Okay, it's equal, but...
Yeah.
It's a game. Actually, the reason I played bishop b3 was because when I looked at it very briefly this morning, I saw that the computer started recommending, I think it was c6. c6 was the line the computer was giving. c6, c4, knight c7, d4, g5. And I don't actually know what's going on here, but I figured it's complicated. And really, I wanted to create complications and take a chance. And I figured even if I was worse here, I was completely losing against Vichy, so I certainly taking a much worse position as opposed to losing, I certainly wouldn't mind either.
So were you also looking at, Mickey's tournament position and thinking his confidence maybe isn't so high?
Right. That's the thing, is I figured Mickey just wanted to, essentially draw the game and get out of here, because he's had a really rough go of it. So that's kind of why I played this. I just wanted to get him into something very complicated where he would have to play good moves. The c5, much to his credit, I think is the best move. And king h1 has to be wrong. But during the game, I couldn't come up with something. Really, I was just trying to create complications. What I had looked at originally was d4.
Sorry, instead of king h1.
Yeah, so d4.
Yeah.
C takes d4. And now, okay, if I play queen takes d4, knight c6, bishop a4, I thought that after just rook c8, I wasn't really sure what I was doing here. I thought this was completely fine. For instance, I had looked at c4, knight b6, queen takes d8, which actually here king takes d8, takes, rook takes, and I mean, b3, bishop d6, and I mean, black's maybe better here, at least equal though, I assume. So, that's so another line actually, which I had also looked at was takes, knight takes d4 instead of queen takes d4, knight takes d4, but after bishop c5, castles, or king h1, sorry. Bishop takes d4, queen takes d4, castles. If I go rook d1 now, there's knight c6. And, well, if queen e4, then black has knight f6. And if queen c5, for instance, then just queen e7, very simply. And black's better.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Perhaps we've got quite a few moves to get through. Should we try and get?
Sure. Yeah. Well, now everything's very forced. I think. Yeah. C4 is a good move. So yeah, the next 10 moves or so are pretty much all very forcing. Right. So yeah. At this point, I mean, coming out of the opening, Mickey has to be better here. And I think it's more a matter that he didn't come up with the correct plan, really, because I mean, at this point, I should just be suffering for the whole game, and I actually got a lot of counterplay, which, man, looking at the position optically, it certainly doesn't seem like I should.
Yeah, I don't know.
In fact, yeah, I thought this plan with rook e7 was slightly dubious. I thought if he just put his rook on b8 or b7 and just waited, I didn't really know what I was going to do.
But I don't know. His position didn't seem too bad in the game.
Right, it's not bad, but I mean, basically, I got what I wanted, which is
a bit of a mess.
Yeah, a bit of a mess, or anything could happen. So.
Yeah, I mean, we
yeah.
still.
Actually, I miscalculated this. Originally, I was going to go bishop e1.
We still felt that black should be doing really
bishop
well.
Bishop f8 and bishop f2, and I completely forgot about rook a7 here. Point being, if I go d5, then rook a3, and rook takes f3, and queen c8 at the end of that line.
Right.
So that's what I miscalculated, but I still found bishop d2, bishop f8, rook d1, and yeah, right around here is where it gets really messy. So g5.
Just to interject after g5, Danny. The computer really liked queen c4, so it was the best move here. We were playing around with a whole load of ideas here. But, you know, from d5 to bishop c1 to late bishop b2.
I think it's all just a little bit too slow, because basically if black gets a blockade on the light squares, I mean, for instance, it's not possible here, but let's say you play queen, if you can get the queen to d8 and the bishop to d5, I mean, it's pretty much game over, because, that diagonal, I'm just going to suffer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in fact, the move we were kind of surprised about was g4 here, because we felt that everything turns random. It might be very good, but it really wrecks black's kingside pawn structure. And what did we find? We thought there was a very strong move for
b3 or
queen c8.
I think there was something like queen c8, and we thought we were blockading actually.
Queen c8. Queen c8. I think I just go d5. Wait, you can take g2 now.
Yeah, take here.
Yeah, and rook e8, you take g2.
I think it was queen c8 here.
I'm still not so sure though. d5, bishop takes f3.
Yeah.
Rook takes e8.
Yeah.
Bishop takes g2.
Just take it.
King takes.
Yeah, this wasn't it.
c6.
Yeah, this wasn't it. Wait a second. See, I can't remember now.
Rook b5, I suggest.
Was it rook b5?
Well, rook b5, I just go c6.
I'm sure we looked at these sort of lines.
And now everything's slightly loose.
I can't remember what we found, to be honest. But anyway, g4 came as a big surprise.
Mm-hmm.
We thought.
Yeah, I was actually very happy to see g4 because I thought I was winning here, and then very quickly it turns around again.
But,
so
yeah,
d5 is a blunder for sure. I completely overlooked bishop f3 after 19.
Yeah, that was bishop f3. Once bishop
Right.
f3 came, we thought, whoa, this is looking very good for black.
Right, so right around here, though, it feels like there has to be something. Because I was also looking at takes on f3, gf, and then d5 again. But I think now it's met by rook e7 or b7.
Oh, sorry. Instead of knight h4, We were looking at 95.
Right. 95.
Yeah.
I thought quite simply bishop takes g2, king takes g2,
Yeah, exactly.
f takes e5,
And
and
takes it.
really.
We just thought this could get.
Yeah, actually, this is probably what I should have played. Well, it's probably a draw now, but still, in retrospect, I mean, it's probably what I should have played because in the game I end up with a completely lost position.
Yeah. No, that's right. 95. We're actually really surprised when you played knight h4.
Right, so d5. Yeah,
Okay,
I just simply overlooked this move, bishop f3. I thought at this point I was completely winning and was feeling really good, and then Mickey played bishop f3, and now it's, I mean, it should just be losing here, so. King g1, rook c8.
Yeah, that looked correct.
Yeah, I think all these moves were correct by Mickey. Rook b5.
Yeah, they were.
Oh, well, the one thing here, instead of rook
I think
b5,
actually here bishop d6.
Bishop d6,
also is
exactly.
probably
That-
winning too.
that looked
Bishop
very
d6,
dangerous.
knight f4, rook b5 probably.
Can transpose.
Yeah,
Actually,
I suppose.
bishop d6 instead of bishop c5 check is still a very good move.
Well, okay. After rook b5, I mean, here I probably should just take on an f3 to have any chance of not losing. Instead of knight f4, rook f3, g f3, knight f4, but I mean, bishop d6, this has to be.
Yeah.
Just losing.
Okay, with the blockade. After knight f4, the other move we were thinking of was just coming back to d6.
Well, I mean,
'Cause at least
queen b6 just wins on the spot, though.
Does it win on the spot? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we both miscalculated here. Instead of bishop b6, queen b6.
The point being you haven't got rook fe1 like in the game. So, for example, you can't actually move.
Right, so I mean, you have to take on c5.
And now rook 6.
Rook takes, queen d4,
Yeah.
and we both missed rook takes c6. Rook 5 takes c6.
Okay.
We both just overlooked this. So queen b6 just is winning, but because in the game after bishop e3, I think it's highly unclear because rook e3, queen b6, now rook fe1, and
Yeah.
I mean
Suddenly it's.
Yeah, the move we wanted to make was actually take you on f3 and king f2, but
well, king. I think this is a bit too much. Though.
no,
Takes,
it probably
king
is a bit
f2.
too much. But in fact, we
But-
didn't.
but okay, but
we
even
didn't
this
realise
is
how,
very, very
No, it was
unclear
actually
too,
quite
though, so,
unclear. But we
yeah.
didn't realise that. I mean, we just thought it looked as though black should have something to exploit the pin, but actually, yeah.
Suddenly your knight has turned into a monster piece. On
Right.
the
But
board.
okay.
Yeah. Now the bishop's quite bad.
But
on that
b3 is
position.
just a terrible blunder.
Yeah.
But it's
I mean, I didn't actually see anything better during the game. I mean, we both were already getting low on time, but I mean, if b3 doesn't work, then this has to be good for white at this point. Because obviously you can't go rook c5 due to rook e8. Takes, king g7, knight e6. Yeah, king
Whoops.
f7, queen c5, and takes, king e8, c7 at the
Oh.
end.
Yeah, let's just have a look at that one. And neither king nor bishop can stop that one. That pawn on g4. Yeah, that was a mistake.
Right. So, I mean, I don't see anything else, though, here. It's,
No move at all.
maybe you can play... I don't even know what you play here. Rook e8... rook e8 actually is logical.
Can you... Wait a second. Can you...
But I thought on rook e8 I could go...
Can you take on b5, actually? Is that...
yes, right, exactly, yes.
You take on b5.
Takes, rook e8, king g7.
No mate.
Yeah, king g7, c7.
c7. You don't need a mate. Oh.
And queen c5,
Queen-
king f1. I'm queening a pawn.
No more checks.
And
The
queen c4, just king f2.
King comes up the board. Yeah. Okay.
So, I mean, this is
Queen take. Let's just complete it.
knight e6.
Oh,
Okay.
anything.
Same thing, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But-
Right. So let's just check the game. So b3 was the game continuation, and queen c3.
Right, and originally I didn't actually see the idea after rook f8. When I played knight e6, I thought b2. At least I had knight takes f8 with the draw. That's what I saw with the perpetual. So on b2, I can, for instance, take on f8, queen. Or actually, does that
This
even?
is winning. Knight d7.
Yeah, we thought this was actually probably winning as well after knight d7.
Oh, wow.
We thought.
Wait, no, knight d7, he can go queen a2. Oh, wait, no,
It's
then
mate
that's
on
16.
f8.
It's mate on f8.
Okay, so this
There's also
is
no-
probably enough. But I just saw that I had the perpetual to queen f6.
You
And,
banged out c7 pretty quick.
well, I used a few minutes. I mean, because actually I saw after, I mean, once Mickey played b2, I saw this idea of queen takes f6.
Yeah, let's just see that on the
Right, so
screen.
b1,
b1
right, queen
and
takes f6.
Queen takes f6, and do you want a rook? Let's get melodramatic. about
Yes, this works too. But
Okay, so
yeah,
c7
so-
was 1-0 basically. There's no
right.
way back.
I didn't see any defense here. It's too slow now.
That was a hell of a game.
Oh.
Yeah. Was there some moment when you were regretting playing the King's Gambit?
I think I was regretting it probably during the whole middle game. So somewhere around move 10 until about move 30, I was just not very happy. But
But did you always feel safe wearing the red shirt and the gold tie? Was that always
I always seem to win when I wear
Yeah.
it. So that's probably why.
Do you
I
have a
got
feeling that
lucky
you could
today.
do pretty much anything and get away with it?
Kind of. I think today I got quite lucky. And I probably won't be following a Nigel opening for a little while.
What are you trying to say? Now, why do you think it is that the English players don't really seem to be able to get any wins against any of the foreigners?
Well, I mean, Luke had a great tournament. And I just felt like Nigel and Mickey, for that matter, got unlucky, and they also weren't playing their best throughout the event. So, I think it was really just a combination of factors. But all the Brits are quite strong, and I'm sure that on any given day,
I'm sure you're getting votes back anyway. You don't have to say that.
Well, they are. I mean, look, I lost to Luke in 2009. I came very close to losing to Mickey last year and the year before. So, and Nigel, I think I lost to Nigel somewhere as well. So, I mean, they're all quality players. It's just sometimes you don't get the breaks, and when you don't get the breaks and you aren't playing at your best level, it's a tough combination. Unfortunately, it seemed like all the Brits, with the exception of Luke, who, looking at Luke, for example, if he doesn't have that heartbreaker yesterday, he probably wins the tournament. So I think the future for the British players is bright. It just wasn't their event.
Yeah. So where are you playing next?
My next tournament will be in Reggio Emilia in 2 weeks. It starts on the 27th of December and goes till 6th of January. So.
And are you playing Viscount after that?
Yes, I am. So.
Okay, so the schedule is pretty heavy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to play like Ivanchuk. I figure if he can play every tournament, I can do the same thing.
Are you feeling a bit tired, actually, or are you okay?
Not really. I mean, it really depends on how the tournament goes. After the tournament in Moscow, I pretty much wanted to quit chess, but after I guess I was smart not to do that. At least not before this event. So it just depends. Like after this event, I just want to play more chess. I wish there was another round tomorrow. So I'm not feeling tired right now, but I think once the adrenaline wears off from this event in a couple days, I won't be feeling great. But that's how.
How do you deal with that?
Professional chess player. That's
absolutely.
how it goes.
And how do you deal with that? When you get back from somewhere and you've just got a few days before going off to the next tournament, and how do you cope? You're away from home for a really long time. How do you find that?
I think it's difficult. I mean, that's the career that I've chosen. I think all of us would agree that it's certainly difficult when you have these long periods where you're just playing every tournament, and then you have periods where you're not playing for months on end. But pretty much when I have these short breaks, I just take it easy. I don't look at any chess, and because I know in a few days or in a week, I'll be right back at it again, preparing and competing, and I really enjoy it. Enjoy it all.
And you have your second, Chris. It's Chris Littlejohn, isn't it?
Correct. Yes.
Does he go with you to all the tournaments?
Most of the tournaments. I've been working with him for at least 3 or 4 years now, and he comes to most tournaments. I will say that during this event he came I think, and watched every game except this one. He just decided to go off and take a walk around London, which I think, probably he knew that my opening choice was not best today, but yeah.
Have we got any questions in the audience for Hikaru? Yeah.
After being the world champion of black, how did you guys celebrate?
Okay, so let me just repeat that for those listening online. Question from the audience was, after Hikaru beat Anand, how did you celebrate?
I didn't really celebrate per se, at least not until a few days later. I mean, that's one of the difficult aspects of being a professional chess player, is that you can come off these great wins against anyone, but there's still a game to play the following day. So I didn't go out of my way and celebrate, but I had my birthday a few days later, and I had some drinks. I went out a bit. So it's I guess that's what I did in terms of celebrating.
Anybody else?
Anyone else?
Any questions?
Any plans for the Sultan World Championship?
I mean, I think I've proven that I can compete with the top players. So I think it's really just a matter of circumstances. We have to see how everything plays out with FIDE, see what happens in the non-Galfon match. But if I keep playing well, hopefully I'll have the opportunity at some point in the near future.
Okay, well, I think let's leave it there. And well, on behalf of us all here, I just want to say thank you very much for giving us fantastic entertainment during the tournament. I mean, not just on the board, but in the analysis as well. It's been absolutely fascinating. So, Hikaru Nakamura.